Cary Tabares. I'm a Latina of Cuban heritage. I am a lesbian. I am a spouse, a journalist, and writer. I came out when I was 38. And I was actually in my room. I was having a prayer moment, if you can believe that. And I was kneeling on the floor and I was saying prayers, and for whatever reason, I always felt this heaviness, right? And at that particular moment, as I'm going through it, and I'm saying my prayers, and I said, God, you know what? I'm letting this go today. And I'm going to say it. What I had never said to myself, I said it at that moment. I said, you know what? I said, I'm gay. So I said it, and I vocally said it. I'm gay. And it is what it is, right? But at that moment, I got to tell you, it was so liberating. And I always describe it like this. Atlas shrugged. Because the world just came off my shoulders at that moment. And it was such a liberating experience for me. And then, of course, after that, I had to deal with coming to terms with all the things that came from that. I was in a Pentecostal church for 7 years. And part of me did that. And again, me thinking about who I am now and why I've done the things I've done. Part of me wanted to borrow a phrase that's used often these days, I wanted to pray the gay away. That was my thing. If I can do this, I'll be fine for my family, because then I'll be accepted in society, and all these other things. And I was very active. I mean, we were lay leaders in the church. And so coming out at that point, you know, that was obviously a big thing, because automatically I knew that going back to church was going to be an issue, right? Just because there are, just to be very clear, there are many churches who are very accepting of the LGBT community. Mine was not, at that time, was not one of them. So I knew what was in store. But I think at that moment, I realized it was either I live my life who I was designed to be, who I believe I was created to be, or I'm going to be in the prison of everybody else's image of me for the rest of my life. And my friends now are wonderful, and whereas before they were mostly church people, I have friends in different areas. Some are church, some are work, some are just friends that we meet through other people, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. They're very genuine, and they're very genuine because I have made it a point. And it's not that I go around with my pride flag, although yes, at work, when I used to work at my previous employer, yes, you know, I would have the pride flag on there. So people knew. But immediately when I meet somebody, I make it known in some way, shape, or form who I am. And that's not to say, hey, I'm gay, I'm Cary, nice to meet you, you know, not like that. But it's more like if they're talking to me about, hey, so, you know, where are you going this weekend? Oh, my wife and I are, ... You know, so I'm letting people know straight up from the beginning what's up. Coming out takes courage. It takes knowing that you know that you know that you know that this is who you are, and that there's no other way to exist. And while sometimes we waver on that because of how we grew up or how we were fed information about being gay or being lesbian or being transgender or being bi, whichever, we have to find a way, and it's not a one-time deal. I think it's a journey. A lot of things are journeys. But it's about filtering out the voices in your head that are telling you this is not who you are, this is not who you are. Because in the depth of your soul, if you know this is who you are, and again, this is only from my personal experience, right? I listen too much to the external voices, and I'm not paying attention. I didn't pay attention enough to what was going on inside. And I think the key to coming out is listen to your inner voice.